is up, friends? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Rafa Esparza, coming to you. What is like live? I wouldn't call it live. No, it's live. The reason why I have to take a little bit of a pause before I assign it being live is the fact that we thought we were done for the year. We thought that we were actually going to be finished with the calendar year, but lo and behold, Chael Sonnen and his team over at Submission Underground decided, you know what, let's do one more event. Because we had already closed out the year. We had already done our congratulatory, hey, this is all the end of the year sort of stuff that we planned to do. And here we are. So anyway, or as the tweet from, I believe, Heather said to us, it's just Chael Sonnen's world and we're just living in it. That's a stupid thing to go ahead and describe something, if we're being honest. So let's just not call it that, and let's call it something else. But I do believe that noise means that we should be having somebody joining us very soon. We have a panel that we're bringing on for today's broadcast, so I hope that you guys are excited about it. I know that I very much am. I'm excited to see you guys, so give us just a second. We'll be able to pull them on. But in the meantime, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Give some love to our friends over at Noki BJJ Gear. Also, give some love to our friends over at Dodgy Collective. Dodgy Collective, one of the most fantastic sets of rash guards and whatnot you will ever see. And I believe we're going to get the action started underway in just a second. But as we go ahead and look at the action happening right in front of us, we see that on the screen right now, Charlie Gilpin is leading us off, friend of the show, so very excited to have him competing back on this. So give us just a second. Here we go. Does look like we're able to go ahead and pull him in from the green room. There was a slight moment. Looks like this man is competing in actually a regular t-shirt, which just goes to show you how crazy the pandemic has treated us all. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Our friend, yours and mine, one, Kevin Bradley. Kevin, how are you doing, sir?
I'm better now, Raph. How you doing?
I'm okay. Did it take a second for you to be plugged on? For whatever reason, it was telling me I couldn't plug you on, so I had to do some fancy trickery while I was vamping.
Yeah, it's weird. There was a slight delay, I think, but I seem to be good now. So I'm here. I'm ready to get roasted for whatever insults you got prepared for me. I'm happy.
Start with your hat, if we're being honest. So the fact that you're cold and I'm not, I would go ahead and insult you with that, but.
I actually know because the heating is. I'm back home for the holidays, like for the week, and the heating is broken. So I'm truly just
like are super cold.
Actually, I'm actually freezing.
Yeah, I see. As you bring your Vin Diesel coat to bring on over you.
Oh, this is just a blanket.
No, today we're gonna call it a coat because we can't see underneath what's happening there. Speaking of being underneath, can you tell us what's happening right now? I already have talked about our friend Charlie Gilpin, but I do believe he is right now. He just platformed back up. Tell me a little bit of what you're seeing there, sir.
My screen is actually totally frozen, so maybe not the most optimal time.
What? Okay, do you need to back out of that and come right back into it, or what's happening on your side?
Oh, I'm just the frozen. I think it's frozen on the SUG logo for some reason. I have no idea why, but these things tend to happen in the world of streaming. It's not like this is the first time the wheels have fallen off the cart, but we will get to the finish line, I assure you.
We'll make sure that we're there. Well, I'll tell you what's happening. Charlie Gilpin working from inside guard. For a split second, it looked like he thought he was back in a combat jiu-jitsu match. So taking a moment to find his bearings there. His opponent, who I don't know very well, but we're getting to know him now, is trying to pull down posture here. Going around the back, seeing if he can maybe get a little bit of a bump sweep from inside of guard. Nothing happening there. We have 2:40 on my clock right about now. And
okay.
Actually,
all right.
Back up the guard right now.
Yeah, it's just hang on, I gotta mute Chael for a second because his voice just started coming through the headphones. I also, the small tip, I love how they've marketed it as Chael Sonnen's Submission Underground. Mm-hmm. That's for the eagle-eyed fans. Oh man, that does look like a very deep. Is he going for the lockdown on your screen? I don't know if there's a delay. Oh, he's trying to isolate the arm very quickly.
I'm actually at 156 on my clock. Where are you at right now?
Oh, I'm at one. I'm in the future now. I'm at 109.
Oh, that's pretty impressive. I'll see if I
Okay,
can.
so it looks like homie's going. He's got the body lock, which is a pretty good effective way of stopping someone trying to pass your half guard, and it looks like he's trying to maintain, maybe hunting the lockdown a little bit there. Amazing pressure on his throat, though. This is just a really solid. Oh, and he back to the feet for both of them. For me, I'm at 43. Some collar ties from both, just fighting for head control. Backed up against the cage. Yeah, no, and it looked like that was a fairly solid scramble from both of them. Oh, now he's hunting the single leg.
I gotta ask you this: what did you think when you heard that they were gonna do this final event for the year? Were you prepared for it? Did you expect it? When did you find out about it?
I found out when Fowler announced he would be defending his belt. We had done a story over at the Jiu-Jitsu Times about it, and it was only like 13 days or 9 days removed from his win against Ishii. Yeah, now we're at overtime. Yeah, the frequency with which Chael's been able to put these out during, especially given the circumstances of the pandemic, is truly spectacular. Um, just to, it seems like he's got it boiled down pretty well to a system.
Well, I was
All right,
going through
opting
my
for back control.
notes, and I had a moment where I thought, we started these things relatively around the time, these fight companions around the time that Chael decided to play along with the COVID restrictions. And, I have some credit to give to them because this was, I believe, back in March. They were really the first event back for us in combat sports. So to see them come back made everybody else start to turn their wheels and figure out how do we get back like them. And then I think we went fully on lockdown. And then I think they said, yeah, fun story. We're still going to do one of these. So I think that's been the story of that. And if you look at it, they've had the highest output, really, of any high profile event. Like we had the Kumites that happened in succession for about 6 or 7 weeks in a row in the summer. But it looked like, ooh, I see him in on a rear naked choke right here. Is that?
Yeah, no. Also, but oddly enough, I see him crossing his feet on the back control, which like it's not something you see very often.
It depends on the person because some people will swear by it and other people will not. It really depends on the positioning because I remember once I made a joke to somebody. One of my friends put their dog in kind of a rear naked choke and then they crossed their feet because one, it's a dog. And I said,
Yeah.
first of all, I'm reporting you to PETA. Second of all, you crossing your feet. And he goes, nah, mate, it's actually okay if I do it like this. And I go, I don't need your condescending accent telling me what you think is happening right there, man.
Oh man. Well, I used to cross my feet all the time, and then it was back when I was a white belt, and I was rolling with another white belt, took his back, and this guy, it was his second day, and I crossed my feet, and he put one foot over the other, ankle locked me. I've never done it since. It was the worst day of my life.
That was the
It was
second day.
it was his second day,
Oh no!
and I'm like, mm-mm.
And how
And then
long had you
because
been jujitsuing at that time?
I was like 8 months in,
Okay, so it's not
so
that far off. I wanted to
I
say if this was you 3 or 4 years in and you're like, this white belt did this, I'd be like, well, the therapy sessions must be high, but probably worth it, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Then you need to keep yourself off that ledge because there's this great line from The West Wing where Toby's just like, you're gonna get home and you're gonna feel the desire to drink. Trust that instinct. Manage the pain. Don't be a hero.
Look at this. I still believe that we ended up getting a finish and credit to this young man whose name escapes me, but I am finding it so I could give him his proper dues. Unfortunately, he does not get a toast. As per the notes and recommendations of myself, we actually have to follow a small protocol, which is those who get finishes within regulation will get a cheers or a toast of some sort. And since that did not happen here, we will just say like, hey, good job. What's your name? And by what's your name, I mean John Simon. Oh, is that Ricky Simone's like brother?
I mean, he's a top team. He had the top team T-shirt on, right?
Oh have to find
Which,
it.
by the way, you commented on it earlier, but like, homie just rolled in a t-shirt. That's kind of cool.
I mean, listen, here's what I don't like about that. If you've ever rolled with people in t-shirts, there's a 10th planet near us that they promote people via t-shirts, so they will roll in t-shirts. There is something highly aggravating about when a finger or a toe gets stuck in there. People talk about geese where things will start bending a certain way because they get stuck somewhere. I cannot tell you how many times I have been rolling with somebody in a t-shirt where like my finger or my toe or something will get stuck and I go, I was almost out of this, you dick. And now, just because you choose to wear this, I am not doing as well as I should in this role. So I have told people, I'm like, you know what? Sometimes don't wear the fucking t-shirt. I don't even want it. It's just I would be doing better. You almost get to that part where you're like, are you the person who doesn't wear the rash guard? That's fine. Whatever. I almost would prefer that so that my fucking fingers don't bend a certain way.
Yeah, the only time that kind of reminds me, I was training at a 10th Planet school in Connecticut a few years ago, and they shared space with a Jeet Kune Do school,
Oh, good.
and they would do class right after us, so we would be done, and they would show up all in like black slacks and black t-shirts with like kanji on them, and they actually we found out their teacher had instructed all of them not to talk to us, like they weren't allowed to talk to like the jujitsu guys, and we were wondering if they just thought we smelled bad or something.
No, a lot of the times they actually say that as to keep everybody on the up and up. So I tend to understand that mechanism pretty well. But I will tell you, there have been a number of times where I've been like, should we go play nice with the other people? Should we go talk to them? And they go, nah, don't do that, dude. You don't need to do that. And I go, oh, okay, I just want to be friendly to them. And they go, no, Raph, trust me, you'll probably say something really stupid and make them mad. And I said, that's probably true. So I just tend to always be nice if people are going to be nice to us. But let's be very clear. When they walk in wearing ridiculous street clothes, all I think about is, oh, God, don't make fun of them for this. Whatever you do not insult them for just being human beings. And you don't
It's
know
not
better.
their fault.
They don't know any better, and if they did, maybe they'd act a little bit better and more according, but you can't prove those things. All right, that seems like a little bit better of a format. If you're just joining us right now, thank you so much. We are watching Chael Sonnen's Submission Underground 20, and as Kevin, my esteemed friend here, pointed out, it's almost like Walt Disney presents sort of billing for Chael Sonnen, because he wants to make
or
sure that you know it's him if you can't tell by him being the only person promoting it and or the only guy who says, hey, Craig Jones is the greatest grappler on earth, because no one else says that.
now this is making you wonder, how good is Craig Jones? How good is he? I was texting with Daniel Cormier the other day.
Oh, God. I hope that he does text with Daniel Cormier. I'm excited about this bout, and I'll tell you why. Friend of the show, Juan Bernardo, is grappling right now, and this dude and I enjoy grabbing food after every opportunity we get to train. He is a black belt. He is out in, I believe now he is in Portland, but he used to train out in San Diego with like Dean Lister and Jeff Glover. So he's got a very versatile game, and right now he's pressuring from up top on my side. But it looks like you're in the future, and you just saw something nice. What did you see?
It looks like your boy. I'm assuming he's the gentleman in the 10th Planet rash guard.
Yes.
He just dropped in, and he's really going hard on attacking the left leg of the bearded gentleman. Really solid. Just reversed it. We're in a nice 50-50 position. Didn't stay there long. A lot of really solid movement from both of these guys. I've got to say, of the events that I've seen, the undercard of SUG definitely seems to have a slew of high quality talent on it. You know, it attracts some really hungry up and comers. Do you think do you think that's mainly because it's on Fight Pass? Like it's the venue you're getting to go on?
Kind of. I think they're a little more choosy and selective about who they want to put on. I think they know kind of what they're looking for. But, I think they're still learning about jiu-jitsu in terms of how to present it. I think they do an excellent job, but sometimes they'll put somebody on a card, and I go, I don't think they know who this person is. I think they were just literally convinced by the gusto of the grappler. Or sometimes when they put these MMA stars together, they'll put incredibly stupid mismatches where I go, this is just cruel. And I don't think there's a person in the world that would do this. But they could just be looking for fast finishes so that they have a highlight reel. Again, I wouldn't begin to know these things, but as a fan and spectator, there have been some events that I go, I wouldn't put those two guys together. It's not my
I
first
mean,
choice.
to be fair, I said the exact same thing when Austin Vanderford and Boogie Martinez went against each other in that Sug match, and that ending shocked everybody. And I know that could be the exception that proves the rule, but I do like that they're willing to do those weird matches, just because you could see some really fun stuff.
Well, they were also instrumental in playing along with one of our first inventions of tag team wrestling and aka tag team grappling. So they're not above let's just do some nonsense and see what happens. But if we're being honest, just looking at the way that they have continued to elevate, like they've kind of taken a nice little area that used to reside for EBI. Like I think they've become a very consumer friendly version of jiu-jitsu where we're usually done at about 2 hours here. You can't say that with most events. Most events go on for 9 hours, and I know in terms of trying to make grappling more interesting, that is why those slots become so much more vital. That's why you see these black belts starting off a broadcast in the second slot before we even get to the main guys. Please tell me what you were seeing, sir.
Oh, it was a great takedown attempt by really close to a body lock from your 10th planet buddy, but it looks like Juan. Sorry, it looks like he's really in danger of getting footlocked right now. He's defending it well. Oh, that could be in the steam lock. Oh no, he got out. All right, yeah. Do you find Juan plays like you said he trained with Dean Lister, right?
Yeah. Juan
So
will play anything. There have been roles where I would say, I think Juan is probably going to finish me off in like 10 seconds. And then he'll just do some nonsense that I go, oh, he's just having fun. And little known fact, Juanito is also a lawyer. So,
wow.
One of the few people who can also make money that is not directly related from jiu-jitsu. And probably a decent amount, one might say.
I mean, it's strange. The crossover of people in the legal profession and jiu-jitsu that I've personally encountered is pretty staggering. I feel like there's a pretty high crossover in that field specifically for some reason.
I think they like the competitive nature of it. I think they like how it speaks to their ability to kind of see if what they do makes sense and they get instant feedback on it. Like, I totally understand that realm, but Juan is just somebody who has always been very vocal to me about being very competitive. And you see it because, man.
Real quick, Juan, sorry, what are you seeing right now? Oh, okay. Sorry, it was did overtime start for you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, you're in for a fun time in a few seconds.
No, that does not sound or look good. Because his first at bat on defense, and what is this? Alex, who Larmy was in, I think, the last event, if I don't remember incorrectly. Amazing back control here. Switches on over to the head and arm. That's a tough place to be, and I do think, based off of your reaction and also science, he might be able to secure this tap. He has cleared the legs. He's going to put the pressure down. He does get that from Juan, who does get the opportunity to re-attack here, but that's going to be a heavy thing to be able to re-attack on that sort of thing. That was a pretty quickly finished one. His name is Team Surrey on his rash guard, so does that get confusing when they start asking for things on their phone? They're like, what team are you from? Surrey? Yes, sir. How can I help you? No, not you. Just we're Team Surrey. Team Surrey.
Everyone's phone.
A group that won a Jamaican bobsled team many years ago. Juan does not maintain it, and man, Alex Larmy getting the win there. But here's the good news about Juan. Juan is like one of the best sports in the world, even though he's highly competitive. You will
He looks
hardly
very happy. His smile is very bright, and
you will
like
hardly ever see that dude without a smile. It might also be smiling to get through the pain of losing, but it's still like way better of watching than most competitors who get really pissy at their opponents when their opponents did something really good. So it's kind of the way I would hope I would take the losses. So
I mean, what we both appreciate Sugg in a lot of ways, but I think he could also just be smiling because thank God the ref didn't screw anything up majorly, and we had to do this whole thing again.
well, hey, listen, dude. We all mock it till we have to be there, and sometimes we all make decisions on the fly. But let's be very clear. This is a very wacky thing. Like, this whole construct for what they do on this thing is just like half the time asking these refs to understand EBI rules to an outsider is always okay. So you're gonna give them your back, and then we're gonna give the other guy an opportunity to do it. Yep. So they're gonna say they get the submission and that they submitted you, even though it's an overtime thing. Yeah, it's crazy. I know. Just put your knee in my neck. It's totally cool. It's awesome.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up, but that beautiful head and arm choke we just saw. My possible cousin slash standout Autos competitor, Adam Bradley, just put out a really solid head and arm on his Instagram. And it's definitely, I've tried it out and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting feeling. So any of you guys out there that struggle with the getting head and arm choked from mount or from back transitions, go check it out. He'll help you
I
out.
want to tell you that what he's doing in that looks like sorcery to me. Because it's not like
It does.
I thought about doing it. It's also that I just think to myself, that doesn't look like it'll work for me. Like, Bradley's so yoked that I think he's got a little bit of extra, like, shoulder and muscle width that he just goes, it will work for everybody. And I go, I'm not shaped like you. Also, I can't roll that way when I get stuck. Otherwise, I would have done it.
We were hanging out after his performance in Iowa for the BJJ Woodstock show, and the whole time I'm just like, we're definitely related. It's got to be. You're bald. I'm getting there. You know, probably Irish. And then it turns out we both like the same fantasy book series, so that's just like a lock. And so now I've just got a really jacked guy I can score organs from for when all my body just completely shuts down at like 35. Huh?
Will they fit?
They might not. That's the one worry, you know. But where there's a will, there's a way.
Fair enough. Okay, I just wanted to make sure because they're gonna be like, Raph, we're gonna try and put his liver into yours, and I'm gonna go, oh, I don't think that's gonna work though. But okay, sure, I'm game. Hey, I want to thank you guys also for tuning in. In this respect, if you give us a like and a share, we give you a toast on air, just like we do those folks who get finishes within regulation. Thus far, nobody with a regulation finish, but that very well could change given the people who are on this card. So today, we're going to see right now Kristen Mickelson versus Rita, or as we like to call her, Rita Gribben, who is a friend of the show. So very excited to see her compete.
Oh man, that's you got to wonder why they just chose. You know, we're gonna. All right, we're figuring out this language of Portugal. What letter are we just going to be weird about? We got to figure it out.
Rita is about as American as you can get for being a Canadian here. So she's adorable, but I think at one point she told us one time she just goes, "Yeah, my name's Rita, but everybody should call me Hita." Like saying it within the jiu-jitsu nonsensical are my R's H's who knows sort of a deal. So every time I see her, I have to make sure that I over enunciate. It's Kita, and she goes, "Hey, what's up?" And she'll call me Raph, and I go, "I don't understand how that works for me, but not for you. But okay." Anyway, she's an awesome competitor, black belt. She is always like a friendly face within the community, but she is in heel hook danger right now. She needs to roll out of that. She does, but she's still not 100% out of the bad predicament that it does look like Kristen is continuing to put her in. Do you mind narrating a little bit of what you're seeing, sir?
Yeah, I think I paused it so I'm a little bit behind you, but it looks like there's a ton of leg fighting from both women. Kristen looks like she's got a little bit more control on the left leg of Rita. But yeah, it looks like they're both in a feeling out phase. Like they're trying to see what they can take risks on and what they can transition to. Neither of them is making stupid calls. Oh, Kristen's going to top, looking to pass. Possibly take the back here. That cage, it adds such a different dynamic. I will praise it for that. I will praise it that it changes up the way that people have to roll because there's no reason. There's very
praising of the cage though.
I think it's dumb. I fully think it's dumb, but that's also because I'm a maniac that likes it whenever Cyborg is fighting anyone. There's a risk of just double leg into the stratosphere, into the crowd, and I'm a bloodthirsty maniac. So that's just where I'm coming from. Rita possibly has some kind of purchase on the right leg of Christie, but it's tough to see. Yeah, they both look very calm though. Very big on attacking the legs.
A purchase, like was that the nomenclature that you just used for that?
Yeah, like finding purchase on something, like
a
you know,
Louisiana purchase would be like, well, along the way, I have purchased some real estate on your leg.
No, like hey man, look,
I'm just saying, I'm the person who commentates, and I have never heard anybody refer to it as purchasing. I've heard real estate. I've heard they've got a bite. Believe me, if you ever take a shot for every time that Josh Palmer says, oh, he's got a bite on this, it always will wreck you by the end of an event.
Great bite on the leg there. I will take my licks if this is odder than I thought. But now you have a possible new word to use. Ooh, big on the toe hold there.
Yeah, Rita's toe holds are amazing. Hey, look, everybody. I'm very excited to bring on our next guest. He is an individual as well that is a podcaster. He has a show that's kind of like this, but he interviews people kind of like how I would interview people with beer. Anyway, he's good people. I want you guys to get to know him. He is a welcome member of our community. He is the guy who runs BJJ World. He also runs the Sunday Beers podcast. So you guys can catch up with him, but I'm happy to bring him back on. Just straight from training, our good friend, Freddy. Freddy, how you doing, sir?
Dude, how you doing? Thank you for the intro. That was beautiful, man.
It was not bad. You know what I mean? I gotta level you out because I gotta fix this real quick. Your head's a little bit too big.
Yeah, I see that. It looks a little big.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I got a big head. What's up, guys?
Chilling, man. So you got done with training.
Yes, sir.
Ready for some SUG. Freddie, it is good to see you, my friend. What was it like training today? Did you get some good rolls in?
Yeah, dude, it was great. Today was the last training session of the year for us at the academy. So, the boys like to go hard on that last day. So I did Muay Thai for a couple hours, and then we had an open mat to close out the day. And
a little pissed at this. I see that you're getting a lot more striking in. And what people don't know is I on the sly will get some boxing in. So
yes.
I enjoy doing that, but I see you getting some striking in, and I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it.
Bro, it's so fun, bro. It's so fun. It's actually in a weird way made my jiu-jitsu better because for those 8 years, jiu-jitsu's been the only thing I'm doing, and this kind of took a little bit away from that. Dude, I've been having so much fun striking.
Dude, good for you, man. It's honestly, especially when we were not knowing what was happening in the pandemic.
Yeah.
It was the first thing I could kind of convince my wife to do where I go, no, I'm not rolling on top of somebody now.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Punching somebody. And it's 6 feet away.
Social distancing.
And if I throw a kick in, it's even better. And she was like, that's still bullshit, but go do it. And I said, oh.
Yeah.
I took that. I kind of took that one level further where I'm just doing chi moves with my mind. Like I'm looking at clouds. I look at clouds and burst them with my mind. So I'm getting really good at that right now.
I realize I'm being a rude host here, and I actually have not introduced the two of you gentlemen. This is
yes,
Kevin Bradley
you're
of
asshole.
Jiu-Jitsu Times. He runs
what's
podcast.
up, dude?
This is Freddie. He runs BJJ World. Also,
what's up, bro?
Sunday Beers. We'll get to talking a little bit about that in a second. Freddie, did
yes,
you bring
sir.
a beer to cheers along with us today?
All right, look, I didn't bring a beer, but I have some vodka in this cup.
Okay. Now, see,
damn.
Hold on. There's a lot of questions I have for this. Why do you
go for it.
Random vodka.
Because you said, I don't like drinking a lot. But since I got out of training and I didn't have a chance to pick a beer, and then I obviously have a bottle of vodka at the house, and I was like, man, I guess I could drink this.
Obviously.
Sunday beers podcast if you don't like drinking beers. That's the part that
Because
doesn't really resonate with me.
because I'm an athlete. No, I'm just kidding, dude. Honestly, Fridays is the only day I drink. That the podcast days are the only days I like to drink.
I mean, to be fair, I only drink when I do these fight companions, so I do
Yeah.
understand that. I don't want you to get wasted because the whole mechanism is when people get a within regulation, we are supposed to give them a toast on air.
But like I mentioned to you, go ahead.
I remember real quick. I remember the first time I came on here, I had a Moscow Mule, and Raph just looked at me really worried, like, "Wow, okay, starting out rough. Are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna devolve?"
No, look, I promise I won't get trashed. I'm sipping on it.
If you get trashed, it's actually better for me.
No,
I just
views
try
are
to
gonna
look
go
out
up
for
the
you
roof.
guys. Dude, like, yo, Freddie got wasted on Raph's show, and I go, Well, the reason why is I try to look out for our guests. I try to give them the best advice that I can, but our fate is in their hands. So if they're really, really good for the rest of these next 7 fights, and they all get finishes, things could get a little hectic here.
Little hectic, but let's be and I talked to you about this before. We are in a great show because luckily it goes to overtime, so we probably won't have to drink a lot.
That's true. All right, so there is that. Okay, Kevin, I'm going to give you an opportunity to get to know Freddie a little bit better. So why don't you two gentlemen take a moment, ask each other a question that you think will tell you a little bit more about the other individual here.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
But either way, you guys are in charge.
Okay. So what's up, Kevin?
I just want to guess, dude. One, I'm just a huge fan of BJJ World. Like,
Thank
for
you,
real.
man. I appreciate it.
Like watching it every day. And I want to get this off my chest, just
Yes.
It's 2020. Like I think I can say this. You're an incredibly handsome man. Like, you have beautiful eyes.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You're very handsome yourself. Thank you.
You seem like a very happy soul. And
Thank you. Dude, I mean, I am a happy soul. I just finished training. I'm glad to be training, but no, thank you, bro. I appreciate it. You're handsome yourself.
You're a great liar, and that's awesome. And I appreciate that.
Oh my god, no. Dude. I'm also a fan. I've listened to some of the podcasts that you guys do for the Jiu-Jitsu Times. I'm also a fan as well. So it's
I
nice
appreciate that, man. We definitely, it's like we're kind of like we sort of like to be like Raph's, shows like Grappling Hour and Verbal Tap. Only like we're good, like we're a little bit better. We have a lot more like charm and like
a lot better looking, yeah,
exactly. No. I would love to know how you started. Like your YouTube channel is massive. Like how did that get started?
Dude, honestly, like long story short, I had a custom apparel business back in the day, and it stopped me from training for like a full year. And I was like, one day I went to train. I was like, oh, I need to get rid of this or sell this and move on to the next thing. So I sold it, and then I moved back home. And for that time being, I was trying to figure out what to do. And then me and my brother one day was like, hey, let's just do it like a jiu-jitsu news channel because we love MMA. We would watch MMA news channels do kind of like the same thing. And there wasn't something like that on YouTube. So it was just like, from there, we just started posting videos, and it just, from the beginning, it was just like weirdly successful. Like my brother has other channels as well. And he's like, yo, it might take a little bit. But from the get-go, we just started doing good. People really liked it. We just kept doing it. And like, we're just here. Like, that's it. Really. We just kept falling on our feet until we got here.
I mean, like some of the compilations and content you guys, like, I can count on like one hand the number of people I've personally gone like that have asked me, what is jiu-jitsu, like what's this thing you're doing, and I'll just send them like a BJJ World like compilation video and stuff like that. So you've made explaining this art to my weirded out family a lot easier.
Oh, nice. That's good to hear. Honestly, man, it's just like all of us, after training, all we do is think about jiu-jitsu off the mat. So I was like, man, I might as well try to do something while I'm here, and yeah, like a lot more happier now than I was when I owned the other business and stuff. So this is a lot cooler.
I mean, it's always cool when people from other successful avenues in life kind of bring that skill back into jiu-jitsu because it helps the sport grow. It helps everybody
absolutely,
grow a little bit. So
and we're all in this good space.
Yeah, no, it's positivity, and I mean, there's some
Yeah.
assholes there, but they're not
everywhere.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're everywhere. How did you start training?
So after high school, I used to play sports in high school. After high school, there was like no any more sports. I wasn't that good to play college ball or anything like that. So, for a while, I was just like looking for something to do, and I had one of my best friends who had been training for a couple years at this point. I think he was a purple belt at the time. For years, he would always be like, "Hey, dude, come on, come train. Like, we're not playing baseball no more. Let's train." And then, yeah, man, like one day I actually did, and I've been doing it ever since.
Now, real quick, if you have the sug on right now, you can see that Rita is going for a body triangle, but it looks like she's like going for the body, or Christy was going for the body triangle, but she's crossing her feet a lot while she has the back. Do you think it's okay to cross your feet when you have the back, or are you like, no, I don't want to get foot locked?
I don't like crossing my feet. No, absolutely not. I would so like I train at Henzo's here, and we're a big Sean Williams guy, and then we do a lot of like a seatbelt hook line with our feet. We don't really like crossing our feet. We don't really even like figure fouring on the back. We kind of just have like a belt line hook. It's kind of like what we call it. I don't know what they would call it anywhere else, but it's kind of like just like the foot across. But yeah, I don't like really crossing my feet from the back. Really, I've been submitted like that as a white belt. I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Dude, I was just saying earlier, the same thing happened to me. And some guy got me, and it was his second day, and I had been training for like 8 months. I'm like, never again.
Dude, yes. That's so
Never
fucking funny because that's
again.
literally same way it happened to me. It was like I was training for a couple months, and this guy just signed up. And he had been like, as soon as he signed up, he trained like every class. I'm like, okay, this kid's legit. And you know how white belt battles are. And then I was like on his back trying to submit him, and I just crossed my feet, and he did it. And I was like, so mad, dude. I was so upset. Yeah, I haven't done it since.
This is kind of a weird question, but do you remember the first time you ever like won as a white belt? Like you were able to do a choke in a live roll?
Bro, I don't remember my first win. But I do remember I had like a little rivalry with another white belt that had like signed up the day before or the day after me or some shit like that. Or even the same day.
Yeah.
But I don't remember necessarily like big wins, but I do remember like he was bigger than me, like a lot bigger than me. And I just remember the first time I was able to like submit him like with technique, and I was like, wow, this works. But I don't remember my first win was. I remember my first loss. Like my first roll ever, I got submitted like 27 times by the instructor in like 6 minutes. And then I said, dude, this is awesome. It was like literally around 27 times. It was crazy. Mostly key locks, which is.
Aw.
Yeah, I know. It's fucked up.
I remember it was my first win was like, it was actually with a straight ankle lock. So everyone was like, hey, man,
nice.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and
this
I
is
remember
dirty.
I got an X guard sweep right into it. And the minute I felt the tap, I was like, oh, man, I matter now. And then like it was my first match of the night. And then next one, I just got blitzed by some kid a year younger than me, but he was like a D1 football player. And so I'm like, oh wait, I don't matter. That was a mistake for me to think that. I'm not gonna think that anymore.
I used to be like, I remember like I was so hard, like I was like so like hard to get my blue belt. I was like, I need to get my blue belt. And then like the moment I get it, like I was like, oh, this is it. I'm so good now. And then like all the white belts that were giving me hard times before, like who didn't get promoted, were still giving me a hard time. And I'm like, oh fuck, dude, like I'm just now the worst blue belt in the fucking room. Like what the hell? This doesn't like end, you know? Like
it'd always be like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. How long have you been training for, man?
Man, it's weird because I've been seeing on Instagram like old photos start to pop up, like memories from like, and it's like it's just coming up on like 4.5 years, like 4 years.
Nice.
And I'm just like, man, time flies. It felt like just yesterday.
I mean, yeah, that's what I feel like for me too, man.
How long you been training?
I feel like I've been training since 2012. Yeah, and I had a year off. Yeah, I had a year off there. I had a year off in between when I had that business, and then that's pretty much the only time off I had. And then of course like injuries and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think of if there was any times I had. Yeah, I can't really think of a time I had an extended break besides that year that I was running that business.
Yeah, so did you and your brother get into jiu-jitsu at the same time, or does he not train? Because I know you said that you and him started.
Yeah, so
So
hilariously enough, like he actually just started training about like maybe 3 months ago for the first time. And this whole time, like he's come and he's shot like ADCC Worlds with me, and like half has met him, and like we've done like he's around and he knows stuff, like he can watch something and understand what's going on. He just never really had the interest to train. And then and obviously, of course, I'm like trying to like, come on, man, come train. He didn't really want to. And then on his own time, he actually just started training he just got his first stripe like a month ago or something. So he hasn't been training for too long. But apparently, all my friends from down south that train with him is like, dude, your brother's really good. And I was like, cool.
So the same. My brother, I got him into it a little bit. He's on his first deployment with the Marines in Japan right now,
nice.
Okinawa. Yeah,
really? No way. My girlfriend's brother's there too.
Oh, dude, small world.
My girlfriend's brother's in Okinawa right now, and he's a Marine, bro.
Oh, really? Oh, hell yeah!
He just went there. He just got deployed there. Like, man, I was at his wedding like 2 months ago. So like, yeah, like 2 months ago. He's in Japan right now. It's so funny. What a small world.
If some juiced up short ass is giving him trouble, like ask if his name is Sean Bradley, and then say it. So
I'll definitely ask.
Steal his wallet or something. But he was going in. He went in like 2.5, 3 years ago, I think, to the Marine Corps. So me and my coach, who is a close family friend to both of us, we actually gave him a jiu-jitsu boot camp. Like, we're just gonna shove as much info into your brain as you can and get ready. And then when he came out of boot camp, he's like, "You guys overdid it because now I think that they do things wrong over there because that's not a rear naked choke. Like they're doing things actually." And he would just like they would do rolls, and he would just sprawl, guillotine, and win. And he did that over and over and over again, and it was able to get him through the whole thing. But he's like, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it because
really
he hates being like lower on the totem pole, and the barrier to entry is so huge. He's like, dude, I already did boot camp. I don't want to feel like I'm in boot camp again. Yeah. So he does it like once a month, like to keep it sharp a little bit.
That's funny. Yeah, we're on that too. We're trying to get her brother to train a little bit because they do like the Army combative stuff over there. And he's had experience like wrestling back in the day and stuff, and a little bit of jiu-jitsu. So it's always nice to do. It sucks that your brother doesn't want to do it more often. I feel like that, especially if you're in the military, that's like probably really fun. Like that's like you get to like wrestle with the homies.
He's told me like, because he's a professional bodybuilder, like he just did his first show, and he's like, when you stop being a fat ass and like pick up a barbell, I'll start training again. So he's never gonna train. He's never gonna train again. That sucks. Yeah.
But you could just always use the excuse. You could be like, hey, I can't pick up a barbell right now because the gyms are closed because of COVID, bro. So, yeah.
Man, it stinks. It really does stink.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I was so bummed.
How are things over by you? Like,
it sucks, dude. It sucks. LA is so shut down, dude. LA's been shut down since like literally the beginning in March. And we've just been on like this whole. I mean, okay, look, I can't complain because my school made the move to a new location that has outdoor space, so we've been able to train legally. So I've been able to train. And I know a lot of people have been able to train, and that sucks. That's kind of what kept me sane this year. But yeah, man, LA's just been kind of like locked down this whole time. Like I came back fresh off the Craig Jones tour, like, man, we're gonna take over the world, man. Like we just did so much cool shit. Like we had.
Though, when you did go with Craig Jones, I want to make sure we put this out here.
I love how you just came in right at the perfect time. You're good, dude. You're good.
Also, there's a new match that we need to go ahead and commentate on.
Yeah.
Right.
Ask a favor here, Freddie. If you wouldn't mind lowering your volume just a smidge so that we don't pick up Uncle Chael and potentially get.
Oh, I got you. Yes,
UFC
sir.
robots, that'd be great.
Yeah, I got you. You're right.
Here's what I want to say. It was a little convenient that you went on this big leg locker tour with Craig Jones, and then all of a sudden COVID entered America. Now, I want to be clear about this.
You're on something.
He's essentially patient zero in all of jiu-jitsu. And it just seemed a little suspicious once he got a little sick right around one of these, submission undergrounds where he couldn't perform as well. Because that's how long this year has been. People forget there was a tag team match that he was sick during, and that was back in February. That feels like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it does feel like a long time.
Wait, hang on. I'm having like a Berenstain Bears moment where like I'm misremembering moments in history because I would have put money on that being 2019. Genuinely, I would have sworn that tech with Kyle Bame and like Vinny.
And Vinny, yeah, that was the beginning of this year. I was on tour with them when he went to the
Man,
That's how you can.
damn.
yeah.
So
Wow,
I
that's
do have a couple
blowing
things
my
here real quick. We're gonna get back to your guys' love story in a moment, but I want to give some acknowledgement to both Benji and Micah. And Benji, like a madman, is going for this triangle.
Yeah, I haven't been watching
Benji
them.
was trying to secure a match against, I believe it was Satoshi's training partner. I think he was trying to lobby very hard for that. He didn't end up getting that, but he ended up getting Micah, who has been a fixture
Stud.
on the Submission Underground scene. He's competed against a number of people on there. So I was super happy that Benji gets his due, because he's one of the guys in secret, in the shadows, who has been helping to craft the Mason Fowler that we all know and love, who has been dominating, who has become the franchise of Submission Underground. So I want to make sure we were giving a little bit of acknowledgement to that real quick. But over on your side, Freddie, I think you're a little bit ahead of us. Do you mind telling us just what you're seeing on your visuals right now?
I have a mounted triangle. I'm a minute and 52 left.
Okay, so you're at a mounted triangle right now. Okay, you're just
a mounted triangle attempt. It's not really locked in.
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's
Yeah,
go ahead and bring this back over this way.
Yeah, it
What
looked like
time are
the
you guys on right now?
triangle. I'm at 222.
Oh yeah, I'm a minute ahead of you guys. I'm at 130.
Yeah, I could tell you were just a smidge ahead of us, and I don't mind that. For whatever reason, I think I am the slowpoke here, and Kevin actually very nicely decided to stay back just a few seconds. But having seen...
Okay, so how do I do that?
Oh,
I just press pause and wait for you guys?
Yeah.
Pause and wait. It's not
Okay,
a huge deal.
I just paused it.
Sweet. So I will tell you when I get down to... What do you pause at number-wise?
111.
Okay, I've got 30 seconds before I get there, but allow me to go ahead and vamp and say this real quick, which is this.
Yeah.
This mounted triangle didn't just happen out of nowhere. I mean, Benji very, very well broke the posture of Micah and has just been relentless on this. Now he's gestured and made his way over to a mounted triangle. And Micah, he has one arm out, and that would be curtains for a number of people. Still managing to stay within it, and it looks like Benji is continuing to ramp it up. Go in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and press pause, and we should be on the same wavelength right now.
Hell yeah, guys. We did it. We did it.
That's what we call the professionals. That's how you know we work in the real TV business. So I want to ask this, though. Did you know anything about Micah before this match? And if so, what was it? I heard you were gesturing a little bit over on your side, Freddie. What were you...
Yeah, see, he's a stud, man. He's a stud. He's been on the scene here, especially Submission Underground, for a while, and I've seen him just have a whole bunch of crazy wins. Besides what I haven't seen what he's done outside of Submission Underground, but what I've seen in Submission Underground is like he's always like winning matches and looking really good doing it too.
Ooh, and Micah does brave the storm and manages to get back into guard. You know, I have to reveal this to you, Freddie. I've always had you on the wish list to bring you on the show, but there's two things that kind of prohibit that. Number one, I know that you're always watching because you're always posting the results. And I don't know if you know this, but when you do this show, it's hard to do what you're doing, which is and then the posting and the social media. And two, your schedule is so filled with now teaching over at Henzo's and teaching privates. So this is one of the few times where I said, I think the timing might work out. Let's bring him on the show.
Dude, thank you. And honestly, bro, like sometimes I'll do. I don't know if you noticed. I'm not always like doing all the events. Like sometimes it just depends what I'm doing. If I'm just chilling today, I'm like, I'll do it. But bro, at any time you're like, hey, you want to come on the show? I would easily just not post on the day. It's all good.
That's fair. I also don't want to pull you from being responsible.
Stop it.
There's something that's very difficult about me knowing what somebody does and building momentum and continuing to sustain that momentum. That's the fun part. Is when you get as many followers as you have, you don't just stay there by doing nothing. Like
you gotta
it can all go away very quickly.
Yeah. And it has for me, bro. You remember when my Instagram got deleted last year summer? That shit was crazy. And I think I just got back to what I used to have just now.
Yeah. So anyway,
good times, bro.
We've had you on the idea of bringing you on. We do have the end of the first round. I'm sorry, the very first attack on the overtime. But now Benji is going to get his at-bat. And it looks like Benji's going to offer the spider web here, which is, I wouldn't say unusual as much as it is just, Is that what you're doing, bro?
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how this
Yeah.
works out for him. Immediately starts to attack the wrist. Micah seems very, very not unnerved. Wraps his leg around Benji's neck. He's trying to get to his knees. And you know what's great when you can't get to your knees? Putting your knee in someone's chin as a means of making up for
Yeah.
that posture you can't really get from there.
Oh, there he's out.
So, yep. And that,
This has given me a little bit of PST, just PTSD, just because last time I trained EBI overtime rules extensively, I was actually at Boogie's gym visiting, and the whole hour was just EBI overtime drills. Like you're starting on the back, you're
Yeah.
starting on an armbar, and the defense these guys have with their arms being taken from spiderweb. Oh wow!
No,
Yeah, he's looking good.
Benji looked really comfortable getting out of that with no problem.
That's the fastest submission so far, I think.
Escape, you're talking about right
Escape.
there?
Escape. Oh my god, sorry about that.
I was about to say, I was like, I don't know what 2020 has done to you, but it does not look like you're going to end strong if you're confusing these things. Yeah, I mean, EBI overtime, especially in San Diego, is going to be a huge strain on you as a person, as a human being, but it's good for you. I would tell you this, I was helping out a friend get ready for his EBI overtime sort of competition, and he competes in it, he wins, we're super happy for him. The next week, he wants to do more EBI overtime. And I said, dude, you already won. And he goes, well, I want to keep winning, so why don't we keep drilling it? I was like, great. So he goes to armbar. He gets me with this armbar in overtime. And he goes, ha, and he's just smiling at me. And I go, what are you smiling about? And he goes, I got you. And I was like, yeah, you did. He's like, would you like to do it again? He goes, yeah, I'd love to do it again. He goes to do it again, and I immediately slip out. And he goes, what happened? I was like, oh, you're ready for the second level now. And he's like, oh, my God. He's like, were you never doing it the real way first? I was like, well, I have other things to do. I just wasn't doing them yet. We weren't ready for that. You won. So now we're going to make it harder.
That is some anime protagonist, like, training arc bullshit right there. Ooh.
I would tell you this. Benji's arm looks really, really not great right now, to the point where he has to do something to attack here.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, my God. His arm doesn't look good.
He can't even really balance off of it. He does not seem to have a good equilibrium right now, and he's not even going to try and really do much with it. You see him immediately go for the bicep slicer, but I think he knows that not getting this in about 8 seconds is going to be problematic just in terms of trying to return the submission time. And yes, Micah will be the winner of this bout. Man, good match between these two gents.
Yeah, that was fun.
I hope that Benji is okay, man. I knew he was lobbering for this really, really hard.
Yeah, man, his arm seems to be in trouble. Mm-hmm.
Either way, oh man, that really bums me out.
Yeah,
you know
looks
what the worst
bad.
part is? Freddie, you may know this as well, which is when you do these things, I'm not saying they watch every single one of them, but it is pretty consistent that the guys who compete in these will tend to watch the ones where we roast them the most. And I did tell Micah before. I'm sorry, not Micah. I did tell Benji on this one. I was like, "Yo, bro, we're gonna roast you hard." And now I don't want to. I want to relinquish that. And he was like, "Dude, I can't wait." I was like, I think you can."
I mean, after a match like that, it's not really much to roast, man. He looked good. They both look great.
I mean, he looked amazing, and like I said, just the fact that he was lobbying to get on here, he had a good match. Of course, due respect on over to Micah for that finish. Incredibly done. We continue on as our next match is actually going to be Andy Night Varela versus Ben, and I always say his name wrong. I think it's Egley?
Yeah,
LG?
Ben Egley.
Is that what we say?
Ben Egley, yeah.
Okay. Ben Egley. Yeah.
I swear to God, I think one of the events that we did these for.
He topped. Yeah. He topped.
Yeah.
That didn't look good, bro.
And you know what? So were you saying that you think you saw him tap right there?
Yeah, it looks like he was tapping.
No,
I don't know. Really?
Well, they just
I looked like it on the
opposite angle.
Yeah. Not the second one wasn't a good angle.
His right hand.
I thought he looked like tapping.
It looks like he was flaring it. I think he was thinking about it.
Yeah. That's the same thing that happened with the Cerronian.
Going to tap though, that's not the ref you want. Basically looking at whether you tapped or not. Now, you are tight with Craig Jones, Freddie. To
Homie.
what extent did you give him shit when he phantom tapped?
Oh, dude, like from the moment the tour started, there was like nonstop banter. Dude, I make fun of him even when he wins. Like, yeah, of course, when that happened, we were just giving him straight shit. Like, and he takes like, to be fair, he takes it well. He's the first one to make fun of himself, so it never. But it's just the most hilarious banter between this guy. Like, if you could get into a shit talking thing with him, it's gonna be really fun.
So, just to give you an idea, Kevin, of what was happening, I was at my new job, which is now, I guess, my old job, when these guys were on tour. So, I was actually charged with setting up my boss's Apple TV. So, I was taking some me time, and I saw on my Instagram, I go, well, let's make sure that Instagram works on this Apple TV real quick. And I saw that the guys were traveling in a car, and they said, let's do a Q&A. And they all go on Instagram, and they're all doing stuff. And I literally go, well, I've got 10 minutes to go and give them shit. And I'm looking at it in pristine quality on this TV. And Craig Jones is basically facilitating shit talk between me and Freddie. And then Craig's just looking at me and going like, hey, Raph, yeah, I'd like to see you, blah, blah, blah. Or, yeah, we need to do something. And I go, hey, man, I'm at work right now. And he goes, it seems like a bad idea. And I was like, to you, you dumb, aloof dork who's barely good at jiu-jitsu? Like, yeah, you can make a living off of it. The rest of us can't do that sort of a shit. But I was like, dude, I'm working where I want to work. I like this place. And I'm like, and I just find it so funny that I'm sitting here giving you guys shit when someone else is paying me at NBC to do other things. And I go, it's a good thing. It's a good gig. Can't complain.
Yes, can't complain there.
By
That's
the way,
true.
Raph, I gotta ask, on securing me some of Ted Danson's hair, like at all, just because I'm still, some money in for you.
I will protect Ted Danson with my life. That man is a saint.
I'm just trying to clone him. I'm trying to clone him. I want there to be more Ted Dansons.
Let's go to our next match right now. Andy Night Varela. He is coming out from 10th Planet Las Vegas, an instructor there. One of the best things you'll see about him is just his constant movement. He is somebody who is relentless in his pursuit. He does flips within matches. I mean, he's all you could ask for. Meanwhile, Ben is somebody who's been competing on the whole Submission Underground cards for a number of different opportunities and times. So I was not perplexed as much as I was like, this is a very strange blending of styles in this match.
Yeah, I would say Ben Egley has like a more traditional style jiu-jitsu, more old school style jiu-jitsu.
And he might be the first to tell you, like, I don't think it's traditional, but at the same point, like, I like his approach, his sense of humor. He has a really fun Instagram where he just does absolute nonsense. And it just makes me think, like, I haven't interviewed him yet, but he's on my radar because I gotta figure out what's his deal. When I see somebody like that far off center of what our normal jiu-jitsu people are, I go, wait, okay, we should probably chat because I don't understand every part of it, so let's make it a thing.
What does too weird for the BJJ crowd even look like? I'm struggling to...
Let's put it this way. If you're him and you're posting selfies of trying to give a leg lock to a rake and posting it like it's a real thing, I think to myself, well, I don't see Galvo doing that. Yeah. So, okay, most people are going to do a traditional selfie of themselves at the end of training. He seems like he's kind of doing that, but with a little bit more humor approach to it.
I mean, I think that we don't have any right to judge since we're both friends with a guy whose biggest rival is a chair, who does battle with a chair.
You know, Jordan Weitzman, I think, may have some mental issues that we're all just bypassing on this.
He's the unsung hero. I know that's for later. But yeah, just know.
What I can tell you is this: Jordan is somebody who, Andy with some nice move, and he kind of trips up Ben right there, but Ben right back up on his feet, and they are pushed on over to the edge of the cage. Night trying to get him pulled down. Ben trying to get a little bit of a positioning on that arm, cannot get it, and instead Night securing not only a pass, but maybe a work, straight to the mount. What I would tell you is this. When we have these folks like Jordan Peitzman who show up and beat up a chair, my first thought in any other year would be insult this man. But in 2020, it was, you know what? Do what you need to do to get by, man. We're all just trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah.
When I was hanging out with him during BJJ Woodstock, and throughout the entire event, he would always just be absolutely drenched in sweat. Like whenever I'd see him, he'd go through like 5 shirts, just like running, putting out fires nonstop. The man does not sleep, and it's remarkable.
I'll tell you this though, it is nice to see the evolution of WWE BJJ get to the point where now people are picking inanimate objects. Because again, on my 2020 bingo was not there. I definitely thought, oh, you know, we normally concentrate on matches with people and this celebrity or this person coming in, and then this motherfucker got notoriety with a chair, and then thought, you know what? I'm also gonna meme myself so that I'm gonna tell people this is what you need to meme. This is the strangest freaking thing in the world.
Dude, when those videos started coming out, they're so hilarious, man. I think that's all we saw on our timelines for like a week at least. Just chair videos.
So many of my friends like banged their heads against like the chair legs when they were trying doing it. Like, and so I know people with like busted up like craniums because of.
Did you guys get into any weird training like dummies while we're all quarantined?
Yeah, my fiance.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No,
sure
she
I
was
clip
really.
that one and ruin your potential nuptials there by sending it on over to her.
I only mean to say she was really cool about letting me drill some cross collar chokes from like close guard. So sure, if you do end up watching this, I love you very much. Please marry me all over again. You're great.
What a gent.
This out real quick. So look at this. We do have a finish here.
Yeah, we have to drink, huh?
We do have to drink, and we do have to do a toast to Andy Night Varela. And here's what I'm going to say. We'll do that in just a moment. But if you guys who are watching want to get a toast, all you have to do is give us a like and a share on Facebook. We'll give you a toast as well. But here's how we're going to do it. This toast goes on out to our good pal, Andy Night Varela. Hey, man, I know we're supposed to cheers you just for this nice finish you got here on Submission Underground 20, but we're going to do you one better. This toast is for all the hard work you put in this year. I can't tell you how many times I've watched your matches this year and said, damn, that dude is so good at jiu-jitsu, I'm never rolling with him. Cheers to you, good sir. Much appreciation.
Cheers, bro.
He also, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
I did interview him this year. He is maybe, I think, the closest of any jiu-jitsu competitors' voices to Prince. Because I would ask him a question,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, Andy, tell me a little bit about this. And he'd be like, well, I would tell you about that, but it's very difficult with this deep voice. And I'd be like, bro, this is too deep for us, man.
Whew, it's getting hot in here, man.
That submission was slick, man.
Dude,
yeah.
He's all about creating movement and opportunities. He is one of my favorite people to watch grapple. And dude, not
Look
only
at that finish.
did he pull it off, but I mean, he went to several different positions in order to secure it. I appreciate his ability to kind of take the submission from all over the place. It looked like it becomes a sweep. It becomes even trying to almost give up a worse position, what would look like on paper for most other people, but gets a finish over on the side. So congratulations on over his way. So let's go. We got another couple matches still left over here. This is what I don't love about their thing here, which is when we do get to this, I would pull this up for you guys, but it's too hard. What I do notice that they like bracket it to like the lower card, like the prelims and the main card. When there's no differentium on the broadcast, it's the card. So
Yeah.
I don't think we should be calling these kids who are down here the pre-card because we aren't going
prelims.
anywhere. Yeah, it's just the dumbest thing in the world. I'm like, every time I see somebody go on there, nobody says, oh, I'm going to be on Submission Underground's prelim card. It's like, oh, real nice.
Well, you're in the industry, is that a Chael thing or is that a UFC Fight Pass thing?
That is probably a Fight Pass thing that Chael is just playing along with because maybe they feel like it gives more specialness to the upper cards. Because that's the hard part to me is I always think, like, logically, those 4 matches that you put together makes those 4 to 8 people who are the main attractions feel like they're the stars.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's cool and all. But once we start making a co-main event, it does get a little participation trophy-esque. So I'm just saying, it's just an easier way to go ahead and budget and make these things go. So anyway, let me ask this, Kevin. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask a BJJ podcaster to fellow BJJ podcasters, was there any sit-down interview or event coverage that really you really enjoyed this year in a year that took so much joy? You know, was there any conversation that brought you even a little bit of happiness?
Raph, you want to take it over or me first?
Yeah, I'll go on this one. So I think I interviewed somewhere in the neighborhood of about 150 people this year, just because when we were in lockdown, it just became, let's do interviews, let's keep this going. And I like to pride what we do on these shows as being usually optimistic and hopeful and fun, but it was a challenge. I would say that some of the best conversations I had include Chai Surasu, who was able to find a very nice and serene way to explain a very terrible scenario that happened when people broke into his gym at Long Beach. And that conversation really stayed with me because I thought he could be such a bigger downer if he really wanted to. He had all the reason in the world, but he was actually, all things considered, very appreciative of the community stepping up. And I just really liked getting that opportunity to talk to him. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'll be at your gym when you guys open and all this shit's over with, because I really want to support you. But yeah, I think that's one of the ones that would highly stand out in an otherwise really terrible year.
No. I mean, you still did 100. Jeez, that's really good work, man.
Try to, man. You know, I mean, here's the thing. I don't like not doing anything. So when I couldn't be at the main job, I decided to make use of my time. Now, speaking of which, we'll get to Freddie's pick in just a moment, but we got a Footlock battle here.
Yeah.
With, Gonzaga maybe not realizing that he is in submission danger. It's going to be very difficult to roll out of this position when you are really bunched up near the cage. Hunter Colvin, a beast, giving up a lot of weight here, one might say.
Oi. Oh, my God. Ooh, it's not looking good.
And now
Dude.
Hunter has this by all means.
Yeah.
And you can tell when Gonzaga starts doing the grip and pry away, that is usually not the world's best sign, especially considering it might be
What
another
is he
opportunity here.
attacking?
He's not really. He's trying to attack.
What is Gonzaga doing? There's nothing there.
I think he's just trying to mirror what he is. The only issue is he doesn't really have the same bend.
Position. Yeah.
No. In fact, he's
No,
also
it's 50-50.
attacking the outside leg.
Outside leg, yeah.
So
Yeah,
what's happening here is Hunter can recalibrate and rechamber this, but
Oi.
it's interesting. Gonzaga almost feels like he can push his foot out. Now, there's maybe the potential for a little bit of a... Oh, God, this just...
You know what this is? His leg is just too thick, bro.
Yeah.
Hunter might be too small to... that leg is a thick leg.
Ugh. But I want to point something out here, which is that if you look at the way that Gonzaga is really urgently trying to pry things apart, you can tell he's eating some parts.
Yeah, some damage. Ugh.
Now he gets a moment to kind of rest, and he's trying to just massively pull him up like a bear at this point.
Yeah.
And you are seeing Hunter go back. He's not... Yeah, I think the misconception is that you need that arm. That arm's just kind of an extra feature. If he collapses on it and can pull off a little bit more of that traditional Lachlan Giles form of a leg lock, there's still some viable options there, but that leg is coming a little bit more undone. He takes a moment. Gonzaga grabs the arms back again, tries to pull him back up, and now is ahead. Now this is turning into a movie at this point. There is still 155 left on my
Nice.
clock. Hopefully we are in that realm for you guys. He switches it on over, switches the position, and it does look like Gonzaga has to be thinking of tapping on
That toe hold. Oh, no, he's out.
Yeah, Gonzaga now has a toehold of his own that he's trying to attack, but instead, We go straight into another leg attack position. Let me point this out on my perspective, which is that if I am Hunter, I don't want to go to overtime with him.
No. Yeah. I think Hunter might have a little bit more success if he was able to switch from the 50-50 to a more a stronger position like the inside Senkaku. But I mean, yeah, he lost it now. He's off the legs.
Well, here's the good news.
Oh, he's on the arm.
He's on the arm, but this is just what happens with strong people. Ooh.
Oh no.
Nice. Wow. Strong guys can just do some random shit that the rest of us wish we could do. Where you just go, I would rather you don't have this arm, and you just pull it back.
Yeah, man, what a damn.
Oh,
Gonzaga's a big dude.
I wanted to ask you, since you're kind of witnessing this right now, did you find it strange that when Gonzaga couldn't find a dance partner, they said, you know who would be a good dance partner size-wise? Hunter Colvin.
I love Heather very much, but I do not envy her job just because I feel like making these things happen in the way that they do on as consistent a basis as Sugg has had to during quarantine has got to stretch the imagination. I don't fully get it, but I also don't like it's an incredible thing to witness. I'm also just thinking about how thick Gonzaga's legs are.
Also, he just tried to rape choke.
He tried to rape choke him.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I'm a little bit. It froze a little bit, so I might be delayed a little bit.
Oh my god! So here's my interpretation of how this worked. I think what it was, Gonzaga said, "Get me a dance partner," and then Hunter Colvin just basically said, "I'll do it. Put me on that card."
Yeah.
So he stepped up. It's not a matter of anybody really saying, hey, listen, I think I can't understand why somebody would want to do this, especially in both of their spots. Now, I mentioned before you don't want to let this go to overtime because you don't want to let Gonzaga in on this. But Gonzaga does not have a strong understanding of the EBI format. As it seems, both legs are pretty wide open, and Hunter's just being smart with not giving him too much. But he can essentially get out of this. It's just Gonzaga has an amazing bear claw grip that's not allowing any further movement from this position.
Yeah, I think Gonzaga's game plan here is just to stall out as much time as possible because he doesn't even seem like he wants to attack this arm, really.
Well, look at this. I mean, I've never really seen Hunter struggle in
there he goes.
Form. I think part of it is just when they mention that, like, look at that giant leg that you have to pry over the top of your head. It's not as easy as I would make it to some of my training partners. No. It just looks funner than anticipated here. But yeah, he's going to get at least 1 minute of ride time. We'll see what happens within the next 60 seconds.
Oh, now he has a more traditional style control. There it is. Yep. There it is. Yep.
Oof. Yep. He
rough,
does
man.
The tap. It takes about a good minute and 7 seconds. So we'll see if Hunter Colvin is able to do something in return here. This is a tough one. I almost feel like this is one of those times you'd opt to go armbar here too, but I think Hunter has proven that he can keep this position pretty well. It's just Gonzaga's a big guy.
Yeah, man. It's a big dude. It sucks because Hunter looked better in regulation.
And that was my fear. But yeah, smothering the mouth. Why not, dude? At that point, get yours, bro.
No.
He's around the chin. He's just trying to put the pressure to it, but nicely recouped there. He is missing a leg. He has to really quickly come up and try to regain it, but he does not. And Gabe Gonzaga getting the win.
Yeah.
Also, picking up a nice acknowledgement for his beard and the power of it. But look at the difference. It looks like, you know, a stepdad and his kid kind of resolving some issues at home. Like, just the two of them being like, what's for dinner? You want to tell mom we're good, or can I? Okay, we're good. Let's go home. Good work, son.
They found what worked for them. That's what's important.
Well, let's talk about the next match as we start to transition off of this one. But Gabriel Gonzaga, I'm very happy when we see MMA stars come back do this. It is always fun to see them get implemented into this realm. All right, next match is going to be Pearl Gonzalez versus Jillian Robertson. Why does Chael
This one's cool.
have a towel? Is it just because he's sweating so much? He has a sweat towel? I really hope that was meant to be off camera and it's just him being like, God damn, this is what I gotta do to make myself camera ready.
Man, he had a bite on that leg.
Yeah, dude. I mean, he had a lot of opportunities here. And if you've seen Hunter, he has gotten a number of leg locks before. It's not like it's foreign to him. I think it's just, as Freddie mentioned so aptly earlier in the discussion, that's a tree trunk of a leg, and trying to heel hook it sometimes is not exactly going to happen. It's almost like I assume when people try to leg lock Dean Lister, I was told by proxy it was just very difficult to do, not just because he knew, but because trying to attack his legs, it just wasn't going to happen. So that is part of it. Kevin, who is the best person? Oh, no. We got to answer your question, and Freddie has to answer it. So who is somebody that gave you joy that you spoke to earlier this year?
Man, okay, I had a lot of great guests on the show. It being our first year, we had a lot of awesome guests. Big rapper named Denzel Curry, a lot of big guys in the scene. We had Lorenz Pacter from Hyperfly. One of my favorite talks, I would say, honestly, we got to bring on my very close friend Wes, and he's beat cancer 3 times. So that show was just like a super deep show, a lot of good like mental stuff. He talked about like training jiu-jitsu while like going through chemo and shit like that, and like just the coolest dude ever. Super good mindset, and it was just like one of those good feel good episodes that whether you beat cancer or not, you could just relate to just being down and feeling out, but being able to come back. And now he's back. Now he beat cancer for the 3rd time. Just now, he's now back training for jiu-jitsu again. He actually just got promoted to blue belt, which has been long overdue because he had been in and out of chemo and stuff. So that's probably one of my favorite episodes, man, especially because of the feedback we got from people. Everybody just seemed to like really enjoy that one.
That's pretty dope. I want to bring up a couple things here. We did get a couple comments. I want to go and integrate them. The first was from Victor Goodman, and he put a correction here, but he did ask, what's good, boys? So, Victor, I can tell you most things are good. Except for my half guard. Good to talk to you. Thank you very much for your comment. We also got one from Jordan Jitsu that says, I love Kevin Bradley and Freddie Pedri. So, look at that.
We love you too, Jordan.
Love you, bud.
Have a toast.
I was on a show earlier this year. It was great.
Oh, you were on it? When were you on his show?
Bro, smack at the beginning of the quarantine.
Yeah. Jordan, why haven't you invited me on your show, man? I love you.
I haven't been brought on. I will tell you this. I did get brought on Jake Watson's podcast this week, and they start with their little, nice formality where they go, we've wanted to bring you on for so long. And I literally brought a list of the people that they brought on before me. And I go, really? Let's go over some of the people that you brought on before me then. And I definitely did name drop Kevin, so I want to make sure. Because I think at the end, the phraseology I said was, I was like, what can he have to say? Like,
you did not just say phraseology. You didn't just say phraseology and pass it off like that's a word that God made.
It's a word that I made, and I guess that's good enough. That's if you can't get God, get somebody who's maybe 2 or 3.
Raph, right under there. Right under there. It goes God, Raph, Michael the Archangel, Lucifer. Just...
I want to bring the match we've transitioned on over to in just a second. I'll give you a moment to say whatever you got here. But yes, this is the match, Pearl Gonzalez versus Jillian Robertson. And from your side, Freddie, what is happening from your vantage point right now?
So that's actually what I wanted to ask you when you came into this. Where are you on time? Because I feel like I'm ahead again.
I'm at 3:56 right now. How about you?
Okay. I'm at 3:47.
Okay. We're
so we're not too far ahead. I
think we're about the same.
Cool. Just want to make sure. Honestly, I'm actually pretty stoked about this match. Jillian's pretty nasty with her jiu-jitsu, and Pearl's also as well training down there in San Diego with Boogie and stuff. I'm actually looking forward to this one, man. This is gonna be a really good one.
And Pearl just coming off of a recent competition, a spectacular performance over at the Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds for the ladies, and she's always fun to watch. I love the fact that she mixes it up and gets involved in this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So you mentioned
Dude.
that you were excited for this one. I would ask this, Kevin. Can you tell me what you're seeing over on your side as well?
All right. Well, it looks like again the cage playing a little bit of a role here. Oh man, a really solid guard retention from a takedown. Um, yeah, it looks like she's trying to transition, isolate the legs so she can maybe move to half guard. I'm interested in the fact that we've seen a lot of work from the mount. We've seen a lot of like leg attacks, but a lot of like going for chokes, a lot of shenanigans like that inside regulation. Um, yeah, it's just I think I'm also a little bit smidge behind you guys. I'm at
That's perfectly
237 right
fine.
now.
It's
Yeah.
not that huge of a make or break, but what I would tell you though is Jillian on top, and I think she's very wisely keeping a monitor on the legs, because if you've gone to any part of San Diego to train with Boogie and his guys, you know if they have the extra ability to use their legs, they're gonna find those awkward
The reverse triangle.
reverse triangles. They're gonna find their
Yeah.
ability to, even if they're threatening it and not finishing it, it does become more difficult for you to finish any kind of attack or set up anything from underneath. So it is a very disadvantageous position, even though you're in the better spot. But here, just straight into mount.
Yeah, I was kind of excited to see a possible north-south escape there, just because I know Boogie drills those quite a bit down in San Diego. But it looks like Julian might be going for Han Solo, possibly, which is a favorite over where I'm from in Jersey. No, she's transitioned to side control, going for the arm. Very solid top pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she's not inside control, so the leg is still in there. But she's looking to free the leg.
I mean,
Again, the flexibility
the leg right there and did an excellent job.
Yeah, but the flexibility from the ends of the feet for any like high level 10th planet person it is something you always got to be cognizant of, like you were saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
solid
look
defense.
at this, though. Straight on the back. She just
Yep.
needs to maybe transition. She does get the tap
It
there.
is.
Wow.
Wow.
Well done, Jillian Robertson.
She's good,
Getting the
man.
Tap on that. Well, that means that
Her jiu-jitsu is
there's
really
some
good.
blood over on her face. In case you did not see it, there's a cut. I cannot tell if that happened recently. Maybe she's borrowing the chail towel that he uses to go ahead and get a little bit of the vapors off of his face. But
Well, you know what that means, boys.
It does mean a cheers, so I will give this on over to Freddie. Freddie, you were the most excited for this match. You get to lead this cheers.
Dude, this one goes out to Jillian Robertson. She's had an amazing year, really, in the UFC. She's competed a lot in grappling as well. This is what her second submission underground. She did a lot of substars at the beginning of the year. Man, shout out to having a great year, man. This was for you.
Cheers.
Prost.
Freddie, should we do this conversation here, or should we do it on when I eventually guest on your show? But it does seem a little suspicious that you put together a beer-themed jiu-jitsu podcast after me.
After you put a jiu-jitsu beer podcast. Is that what the tap is? Like you're like a tap?
Like, what do you
I thought you were doing
here?
a tap like you're the verbal, like I'm verbal tapping, not like the tap like where the beer comes out of. I didn't know that.
Let me point this out to you. So first of all, you're literally on a show where we did this. We predate your show. Then, I've also, like, one of our first interviews that we did this year was supposed to be, before pandemic, me taking jiu-jitsu athletes to a bar and having beers with them. And then maybe...
No, but I didn't know that. Did I know that?
Pretty sure we talked about it. But if, here's the thing. I don't even care about that as much as I just saw one day you show up with a beer-themed podcast, and I go... Okay, what's this all about? And then I know you have no beer credibility, but your co-host.
That's true. That's very true.
So I was super mad at you because I go, why the fuck are you doing a beer-themed podcast? And what I didn't even want to tell you at that time was, oh, I don't think you know the hidden secret of doing a beer-themed podcast, which is not every jiu-jitsu person drinks. So
I found that out.
End up contacting them and saying, hey, we're going to do this thing. We tend to drink. We'd love it if you drink. They go, I don't drink. And you go, well, why am I contacting you then? I guess I'm going to go talk to someone else.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so to cover why I started a beer. I wouldn't want to say I started. It's me and a team, and it's me and one of my training partners, Howard, who was our co-host, and he's a black belt, Hensel Gracie, Los Angeles. He's the beer expert, and he's the one that could pound alcohol like no other. And then we have our friend at Bermea who trains with us. He's a blue belt at RGLA, and he's our sound guy, our little quote unquote Jamie from like the Joe Rogan Experience. And together we want to start the show. The beer was definitely a thing for Howard. And then I found out quickly that, like you said, not everybody likes to drink. Luckily, I am a pro in smoking weed, and a lot of those people who say no to that say yes to that. So that gets done at the end of the show. Everybody wins.
So would you say that you have, give me a breakdown, percentage of beer smokers to weed smokers?
That's good, man. Honestly, I would say out of the people that I had, maybe 60% didn't drink beer. A lot of them didn't want to drink. Kevin Casey has something coming up. Red Jitsu doesn't drink. Yeah, there's a lot of guys who just don't drink, man. I'm trying to remember who. Sean Apperson did drink. Some guys, Chad George wanted to drink whiskey instead and not beer. There's some guys that do that too. They're like, yeah, I don't drink beer, but I'd rather drink whiskey. But yeah, we ran into that issue.
Okay. Again, that's fine. I didn't want to take it away from you, so that's why you never heard from me. But I was
thank you for not sending the cease and desist.
You're welcome. But I just thought it was like another thing that just happens in the community. They go,
no,
cool, yep, just another thing I pioneered, everybody.
Bro, but to be fair, you've been here since like Helio invented the triangle, bro. Like, you know, like if you don't start it, somebody's gonna fucking do it. No, but look,
if I didn't start it, somebody else would have done it. What a good excuse.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's
Your Honor. The intellectual property here is who among us does not like beer?
I mean, I would have definitely lost because I definitely don't like drinking a lot of beer, and it shows on the show. If you've seen, I only really drink one.
I see you do it. I've seen Howard pull his weight, and
he does.
I look forward to talking with him, but let's talk a little bit about what Boogie's setting up right here. Holy
he's
shit,
on it, huh?
This is not great. That arm is about to snap. Ooh. See me
Oh,
tell
wow.
he's in trouble. It looked like he
he's on.
escaped it, but now he's going to probably be in a triangle, and yep, he gets the tap right there. Woo!
Damn,
that's what I get for talking shit. A lot of submissions tonight.
It's perfectly fine, but
Holy
Boogie
crap.
looking strong in this match. Kevin, you get the honors this time.
Real quick, I just love how Stevie Dalloway doesn't even look mad. He just looked like, man, that was awesome.
It's impressive, dude. If you know what, I hate to tell this to people, but if you catch me with something good, I will be the first to tell you it's great. But I might go off and cry for a little bit after. I'd be like, that was really good. Man, that was so good. I gotta go to the restroom real quick. My stomach's hurting.
You're really good at jiu-jitsu, man. I'm just gonna go to my car for a second.
Kevin, the toast is all yours to Boogie, please.
All right. Boogie, could not have happened to a better dude. Congratulations on your win. You have no reason to be nice to me, but every time we talk, you are an absolute pleasure. You're genuine. You're one of the OGs, and you're an incredible ambassador for the sport. Congrats on your win. Here's to closing out 2020 with an amazing submission. Pros.
I'm not going to drink, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, boy.
If you recall, Kevin, who is somebody that bumped me from appearing on your show?
You know, the thing about Raph is he has the memory and streak of vengeance of the world's bitterest elephant. And you just gotta
point something out here. Every time you speak to me, it's always, brother, you're my brother, and like we're brothers, and like, bro, it's just, you're my dog, and like it's all love. You know what wasn't all love? One day when I was supposed to be on his show, and I get a call, aka message from Kevin Bradley that says, "Hey Raph, actually we're not gonna bring you on today," and I said, "Oh, what's up? Is anything wrong?" "No, Boogie just can do the show today." And I said, "You know what? Fuck that guy." So yeah, did he get brought onto my show and I forgot to mention that on like one of our big episodes? I think our 8-year anniversary of the show. Yeah, I totally forgot to bring that up because he was on my show and I remembered to be nice to my friend. But I will give him shit because he bumped me for you, Boogie, and I would let you know, sir, I did not appreciate that in my 2020. Cheers to everybody.
I made many very critical errors in my early dealings with Mr. Rafa Esparza that have tainted any future friendship we may enjoy. And he will never forget them. He tallies them. He thinks about them like Arya Stark reciting the list every night.
I'll be very clear with you. I don't think about them often, but when they return and I go, oh, we're going to do a cheers for, God damn it, it's Boogie, isn't it? Kevin's doing the cheers. That's when it comes back to me. So I have a split second. And yeah, if I'm being honest, I totally forgot to give him shit when he came on our 8-year anniversary for our show. I was like, what was I supposed to talk with him about? And normally I like say like, what can we plug for you? And he's like, nah, bro, it's totally cool. Like whatever you guys want to talk about, it's just like, dog, it's just, you know, I love you guys, and it's like mad love and mad respect. And I go, okay, great.
That's such a good impression.
It's the end of the interview.
Yeah,
that's
really
like 30
good.
minutes, and we finish, and we get off the air, and I go, oh, fuck, I forgot to give him shit for that. Oh. And so I realized, I was like, nah, I got to do that in person. Anyway, this is just as good. I'm sure when we tag him, he'll see it, and he'll have either one of two responses to it, which is reshare or leave you on ghost.
Well, if it helps you at all, when like I texted him when I was in town for my brother had a bodybuilding show, and I'm like, hey, like I'll stop and see Boogie, and I texted him asking if I could drop in for a lesson. He's like, yeah, man, it's like totally just chill, regular class, like come on by. I'm like, oh, sweet, like a super low level. I'm out of shape, you know, so like he's giving me an easy one. And I get there, he sees me, he's like, yo, bro, congratulations, like thank you for coming by, like I'm his brother of 10 years or something. And I sit down and I'm like, I look at this guy next to me, he's pretty nervous, and I'm like, hey dude, what's up? He's like, oh hey man, it's my first comp class. And I'm like, sorry, what was that? And then and Richie goes, all right guys, it's an hour straight of rolling. If you take 30 seconds to find a new partner after every roll, everyone does 100 burpees. You got an hour to impress me. And then everyone just started murdering each other wholesale. And I'm so confused. I'm like a scared little fawn that doesn't know how to walk yet. And I'm just like, by the end, I think I lost like 2 pounds of sweat. And every now and then he'd come by as my arm is fully broken by one of his maniacs. And he's like, yo, bro, you doing good? He'd bend down with his Rasputin beard and big eyes. And I go, yeah, I feel great. Cool to be here. So I got mine, if that helps.
No, it doesn't, because there's an extension of that story I think you forget. But I want to bring this up. We have a question from the Twin Forces. Did Craig fight yet? He's on right now.
Right now.
So we are stoked to watch him, and he is basically putting it on on Ishii. This is not a very good look for Ishii at this moment, as, you know, straight from the beginning, it looked like Craig was going to finish just kind of this short choke from the back. Wasn't there. Ishii kept fighting the arms. I think Craig may opt for the arm if he does not get much success over here on this back, and I think that might be a way more difficult proposition. Here's what, if you're Ishii, I know I said this for Hunter Colvin a little bit early, but if you're Ishii, you 100% cannot go to overtime with Craig. Not like you might get the opportunity to really choose if you're not, but it looks like Craig has this.
That's
rear
it.
Naked choke.
That's done.
Oh boy.
Oh my man.
Okay, I'm gonna let Freddie take this. Cheers,
dude. Honestly, it's hella biased, but he's just a homie, man. Awesome. I have him down as my grappler of the year. We'll get into that later. Man, just get stronger, bro. Stop verbal tapping. And you might win a gold medal or something one day. Until then, bro, just like I am, just another second placer. Here you go, bro. Cheers.
Cheers, dude. Craig Jones.
Oh, boy.
America's favorite loser, man.
Holy shit, Freddie.
It's essentially what he says about him. He says that. He's perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, trust me. If you can see the chat we have and how much he roasts me, trust me, I'm going light on him.
Let me ask,
could you
roast that Craig has done about you, Freddie?
The best roast? Oh man, there's just too many, man. Like he just hits you from random shit. Like he'll hold on stuff. Like there's like pictures from the tour that I didn't even know existed that like he would like find, and like I'm making a stupid face or somebody like crushing me or something while I'm training, and he'll just use that. Like we make fun of Isaac for like going bald all the time. So anytime we find like a picture of him, like from a picture at the top of his head, we just send it to him. Just like that type of shit, you know. Like it's just like never ends, you know. It's always good stuff.
I've been told, I have yet to roll with Craig, but I've been told that he finds the most ridiculous way to submit those people he loves the most. What is the most ridiculous way that Craig has submitted you?
So my first we at the beginning of the tour, we got into we made this thing up that like we would try to submit people with like no-gi mounted Ezekiels. So you would let them mount you, and then you Ezekiel them from the bottom, and we were like, oh no, you never catch me with this shit. And then bro, he would just catching all of us with that. Like we would mount, and you would feel like, oh, I'm safe, and out of nowhere he just Ezekiel you. And we would do it on tour, and people would get so sad because they're like, oh, my one chance to roll with Craig, and he like let me mount him, and then Ezekiel'd me inside of like 2 minutes. Nah, I don't get to roll with him because there's a fucking queue to roll with him. That submission, bro, that was the submission that he did to people he loved the most, for sure.
Good for him. I want to point this out because I think that Kevin thought he was out of the woods with that story that he just told about Boogie, and the fact that he recalled him going to a competition class and it was a tough time and he was coming to visit LA. It's so strange, though. It just jogs the other part of my memory, which is that he was supposed to come train with me when he was coming to visit California, and I didn't hear back from him. And Kevin, where did you go?
I went to Boogie's, and unfortunately, I think I've linked up with you to explain this, but I wasn't alone. I was with my family, so my ability to leave and go like to Boogie's was a little bit suspect. I wasn't able to just go like wherever, and I thought we'd have more time in your neck of the woods than we did. And that is,
you did link up to tell me, but the audience didn't know that. So the audience didn't know the fact that you not only bumped me off of your show after booking me, the sacredest of oaths that you can make as a fellow podcaster to fill in.
Oh.
And then when you were coming to LA, you said, Raph, I really want to train with you. And you make mention of me. And then, I don't know, maybe a little bit after that, say, ooh, hey, Raph, real sorry. Can't train with you. Got some crazy things going on with my family. No problem, man. Totally understand. Look on my phone. Oh. Well, he's training with Boogie. So, I'm just saying, for the public record, that is what did end up happening. Ryan Bader, Mason Fowler, they're happening now. I did see from, what is this, Skirt Chin, expected LOL, which I believe is in reference to Craig Jones winning, which, yes.
Yeah.
It actually took longer than I thought it would, though, if we're being honest.
What was the over under on that match? Does anyone know?
It was never going to win Ishii by plus 1,000.
-5.
Craig Jones basically coming in. This is an interesting match because, again, while the rest of us has had a shit 2020, Mason Fowler has had an amazing 2020. Mm-hmm. The rest of us have hated this the whole year, and he's been the one guy going, it's not so bad. You know, I mean, I'm doing pretty okay. And it's like, you sit and chill the fuck out, Mason Fowler. So they are now in guard. He is taking on the esteemed Ryan Bader from not only the Ultimate Fighter, not only the UFC, and look at this rubber guards beginning that's happening right here by one Mason Fowler underneath, and also from Bellator, where he has beaten, and this one hurts to say, the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko, which to me is a fight that I never needed to see, if we're being completely honest.
Fair enough. It was here in LA, bro. Were you there?
I wasn't there covering that one. I had no interest in going to cover that one.
Real quick, I know you didn't want to see that fight, but did seeing Chael Fedor like soften the blow at all? That we at least got to see that before he
No, because I
retired.
didn't need that
Oh,
one either.
wow. There he did it again.
Wow.
Wow.
Mason Fowler getting a straight arm from that butterfly guard.
Yeah.
Man, look at him. Okay, I'll do the cheers to him. Okay.
Wow.
This toast goes out, as you'll notice my cup says, Mazel Tov, bitches. And I believe there's no better way to express my exact sentiment for our good friend Mason Fowler. Now, Mason, after your last performance, you left me on red on Instagram. And maybe that might be the tone in which I expressed my summarization of your last match, because I just texted you and said, meh. And I hope you understand that when I text you that, it's so that you'll get good performances like this. So I'm not saying I caused this, but I'm saying it just seems to go hand in hand that I inspired you by roasting you. So cheers to you, and you're welcome.
Cheers.
I know earlier you remarked on it, but man, these submission undergrounds just fly like a bullet. They go fast.
2 hours and done. And thanks to people like Craig Jones and Mason Fowler, they fly even faster, which is beautiful to us because we tend to just, we enjoy doing these things at a brisk pace. I'll tell you this much. I've never seen a fight to win fly like this. So when these things happen, it's kind of nice because you do get about a good 10 set of matches. Let me go ahead and see this finish again real quick. I'm gonna have to tell my buddy Frosto this is all him, man. Like that's one of Frosto's big jams, dude. He loves hitting that butterfly sweep, and he will do this. And the hard part that people may not know is if Bader kind of concedes the sweep, even if he's making that angle, you can still yoink back that arm in that transition. You just have to yoink. You have to give the conceded sweep to him, but you're not going to get submitted. There, Mason did an excellent job using the cage positioning, making the perfect alignment on his body. It's just, I would also say this. Mason is one of those people who will watch these shows after the fact, because I know that he has looked up his name after he was doing a couple of these submission undergrounds. And I remembered once he came on, it was for the 8-man tournament. We all got a Pokemon, if you would, assign somebody. And I had, I think, Roberto by default. And Kevin Phillips, the esteemed Verbal Tap co-host, he got Mason Fowler. And when I interviewed him as his congratulations interview after this, in the interview, he goes, I want to bring something up to you. And I was like, what's that? He's like, you didn't pick me. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, I went to go watch it, and I saw that you didn't pick me. And I go, why the fuck are you watching this? Like, don't you have other shit to do? Like, you mean to tell me that the first thing after getting a massive win, $10,000, 8-man payout, is to Google your name and then watch a fight companion for something that already happened in the past?
Yeah.
So, just saying, all good and shit. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a closing right now, and then we're going to record something for you guys that'll air tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. It'll be a kind of recap of the year. These two gents will be on here. Maybe some other people will be on here. So stay tuned for that. But I want to give these guys opportunities to say where you can find them, because we appreciate them and we appreciate the time. So why don't we go and first start with one, Kevin Bradley. That's all you, good sir.
Well, Raph, once again, I really do appreciate you burying your feelings for me and respecting me enough as a fellow media host to invite me on the show. I truly appreciate it, and I have a great deal of affection for you as a contemporary and maybe as a friend. And I know one day I will get my comeuppance from you in some horrifying way, and it's going to be terrible. I go tonight hearing it. But if you guys enjoyed what little bit I managed to bring to this this ensemble, you can catch me and my fellow co-host, Mr. Kevin Gallagher, a much more accomplished man than myself, on the JJT podcast. It's kind of like this one, but it's like a little more green. Like we like the color green a little bit more. We host interviews from people from all walks of life, including our most recent episode with the jiu-jitsu grandma, Elaine Beardshover. We really had enjoyed talking to her. So go on YouTube, Jiu-Jitsu Times, Instagram, Jiu-Jitsu Times. You can read our stories at onjujitsutimes.com. And if you like me and think maybe I'm cute, maybe you think I'm like cool and like dope, you can follow me at krads_BJJ. And that's about it. And, text me because I need friends. I love talking to people. And, like if you're following Raph, who's a cool dude, I think we could definitely get along. So just hit me up there. And also, if anyone out there has wedding planning advice, I'm kind of 6 feet below the water right now. So I could really use some help there. Yeah, that's it.
Hold on. Did you just take the opportunity on my show to kind of pitch yourself for, hey guys, if you have any wedding leads, do any of you guys do origami? Because that'd be really cool and dope for our napkin setup.
No, for real. Like if anyone wants to tell me what shape to put the napkins, because there's like a duck, there's like a bunch of bird options. We don't know what we're doing. We're very much in love, but the stress of this might just kill us. So before it does, if anyone wants to throw me a lifesaver, like a float, I would very much appreciate it because this is a stressful endeavor. We're looking at January of next year.
Oh, wait.
But
wait, yeah.
No, 2020 or like 2022.
Okay.
Like,
sorry about that.
Hey, you need the vaccinations to show up to your wedding, kind of wedding. Nah, good for you, bro.
Yeah, I think that vaccinations are like PC kind of like conspiracy theory, but whatever. That's just me, right?
Yeah, of course. The virtual signaling, life-saving vaccines that we all. Here's the thing. I think the hard sell that we have to do to everybody in jiu-jitsu is take this and you go back to jiu-jitsu. And I think everybody goes, yeah, sure, do it. Yeah. Do it right now. Because I'll tell you, I believe my wife got her first shot, and I'm already like looking at her being like, so if you're good, then we're fine, right? Because I'm only really training less because you, so I got to do jiu-jitsu to keep me healthy.
Things you do for love.
I love the fact that this is a sport where we would have to, for a lot of people in it, we gotta unload 2 hours of like lectures and like 100 different books to maybe convince them that the world is not flat. But so many other things, they will just go wholesale just because it doesn't keep me from training. I'm in.
Legitimately, that's the only worry that I ever have is just, listen, I want to go train. Whatever gets me back to training, because this whole like LA trying to find your way around and like budget and do things with people is always like, cool. So is your garage open on the 3rd? Because I'm trying to plan for the 4th, and if you've got me on the 3rd, cool. Have you like sucked off anybody who's got COVID? No. Good.
Let me just. I listen. I don't know. Full disclosure. Without jiu-jitsu, I would be incapable of making friends as an adult. So that's mainly where I'm at mentally. Yeah. Like Freddie's a great guy and he's handsome. We'd never meet without jiu-jitsu. So like, it's already paying dividends.
The way the two of you have hit on each other throughout this leads me to believe that in some other multiverse, you still would have met each other.
No, Freddie can.
Oh my God, you're the best accountant I've ever seen. What a great accountant. And you're so pretty, too. Who knew we were here at the account? Do you want to make out? Okay.
I can already tell from the limited interaction I've had with him, but Freddie has a passion and lust for life that would make any relationship with me incompatible. I drain him of his positivity, and the world would be less for it.
Where you're going with any of that,
dude? Look, all I'm gonna say is, man, if you feel like you could bring this energy down, come visit us in LA. We could train with Raph, and he'll get over that, and you'll go to see. It's very hard to get me in a bad mood. How can you be in a bad mood when you're kind of stoned all the time?
You see that I'm not there. That's probably my problem. So, you know.
Well, after about 5 minutes with Freddie, you'll probably be there, bro. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
Contact
Hell
high as well. You ain't gotta worry about it.
Freddie, you know
I'm
what's
down,
so
man.
great is just like I want to be like complimentary of Freddie's jiu-jitsu skills, but half the time I go, you know what? Anytime I want to say something nice about his jiu-jitsu skills, I feel like just redirect that to like, man, he smokes weed real good, man. Like he real good at that. So, speaking of which, Freddie, the floor is yours. Go ahead and say all the things you want to say.
Dude, thank you so much for having me on. I am a multi-sport athlete. I train jiu-jitsu and smoke weed, and I'm very good at it. And I appreciate you for having me on the show today. To wrap up the year, man, a crazy year that's been not great for a lot of people. But in the same token, I would say it's been a great year for myself and my team. You know, we've been able to do a lot of cool stuff, even though we haven't been able to go to events, you know, like we like to have. But we started a great podcast. We've had a lot of great guests on the show, and you know, it's just been a great year if you're able to find the good of it. You know, obviously it's been a terrible year in the grand scheme of things, but we're looking good things in 2021. If you liked absolutely anything that we did today, you know, please follow RAF #1 for having us on and building this platform to where it is today. And then you can find me on bjjworld.tv on Instagram. And if you want to check out the podcast, it's just the Sunday Beers podcast on Instagram. And then if you want to follow me, I don't have a lot of cool stuff going on. I probably post like once a month, but if you want to come say what's up on Instagram, it's at Fredinho JJ, which is FREDDINHO JJ. And yeah, let's talk, and we'll have a good time.
I'm particularly glad on your closing statement that you were just like, I mean, a lot of people had a shit time this year, but like things are looking great for me. No disrespect to everybody in this world. Shout out everybody. Shout out Wuhan. Love you guys. I just want to say, all things considered, you know, hey, it's not too bad. Of course, Freddie, always a pleasure to have you on in some form. If it's not us doing nonsense behind the scenes, it is always great seeing you, sir. So
Yes, sir. And look, man, 2021, please feel free to have me on more. I would love to be on. If you feel like you're bothering me, please don't, because I might have not even like posted anything on Instagram from today, to be honest with you. It just hit me up. I'd love to do these.
Well, obviously we haven't missed one event, UFC or Submission Underground or Combat Jiu-Jitsu or Jiu-Jitsu Overtime game show bullshit that they did. Like, we have been on and on and on, so we're never short on events, but I definitely wanted to bring you out to help us close out this year. So let me go ahead and recap for everybody who is watching live right now. Here's what's happening. My thanks to the gents. Freddie, my thanks to one Kevin. We are going to take a momentary break here, and then what's going to happen is tomorrow you're going to see some cool shit that we record here in just a few minutes. So tomorrow you're going to see our end recap, because I figured if I'm going to bring people together to do one last thing, even though they said they were done, I don't know that they said that, but still, it's really an inconvenience to me, because I had already done the, like, we've done a great 2020. Yay, us. And then the next day, that's when they said, hey, we're going to do one more Submission Underground. I go, cool, fuck me. So, as a result of all of that, what we're going to do is we're going to record something where we cheers and toast the very best of 2020, and then you guys will see that tomorrow, but you guys can catch us every single Tuesday at 1 p.m., and my thanks to everybody for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to go and entertain you here. We love you. We cannot wait to see you. So tune in tomorrow. We've got some fun stuff in store. My name's Rafa Esparza. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.